Mabrika! Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Taino. I'm your host, Priscilla Colon, co-founder creative here at Casarito, where our mission is to promote the Taino language and culture. So today we're going to talk about the Taino numbers. We're going to learn a little bit about the history of our Taino ancestors and also learn the numbers that we're going to be using in modern times. So let's get started. So before we launch into the numbers we're going to be teaching today, you need to know a little bit about the history of our Taino ancestors. So when the Europeans first came to the Caribbean, they did not document a lot of our Taino ancestors' numbers. We only have a handful of them that have been documented. Why is that? Well, the Europeans thought that our Taino ancestors couldn't count past 20. Crazy, no? How do you build canoes to fit 200 people if you can't count past 20, huh? If you look at the linguistics comparison between our Taino ancestors and other South American, Central American, North American tribes, you'll notice that the Tainos had a base 20 number system. What that means is that they could easily count by 20. Compared to us, we have a base 10 number system. One of the things that the chroniclers didn't understand was that the Tainos used a sort of shorthand when talking about greater numbers. So to say that you wanted 5 of something, Tainos might say one hand because one hand has 5 fingers. To say that you wanted 10 of something, you might say 2 hands because 2 hands have 10 fingers. To say that you wanted 20 of something, you might hear Tainos say one man because one man has 10 fingers and 10 toes, which equals 20. 2 men, therefore, would equal 40. 3 men would equal 60. So you notice it's a really quick way of doing mental math. You're actually multiplying by 20. We do the same thing in English. There's some words that we may use to mean a number, like a dozen means 12, and a baker's dozen means 13. So nowadays, we all kind of use the same number conventions, the Arabic numerals, that is 0 through 10. So in order to be able to speak in modern times, we needed to recreate that number system, and that is what we're going to be learning about today. The specific number system I'm using for this lesson is from the Primario Básico del Taino Boriquenaiki, but you can find similar number systems in several different flavors of Taino. So we have a couple of rules before we get started. First, you're going to learn 2 different forms of the numbers. There is a long form that you use when you're counting. Let's say when you're saying 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. There is a short form that you use when you are describing things. That is, when the number becomes an adjective. For example, when you say 1 dog, 2 dogs, 3 dogs, etc. So, just like in English, the numbers go before the thing that you are describing, that is, the noun. So the word for number in Taino is hekaku, and the word for numbers is hekaku nagu. So today, we're going to learn the hekaku nagu. I'm going to show you the numbers and read off the long form, then the short form or adjective form. Let's get started. 1. Heketi. Heck. You learned heck already because it is also the indefinite article a or an. 2. Llamo ka. Ka. 3. Llamo kun. Kun. 4. Llamo cobix. Cobix. 5. Llamo cobre. Cobre. Now that we know the numbers, we can put them together with nouns so we can describe the number of things that we see. Along the way, we're going to practice the numbers and learn new animal names too to add to your vocabulary. So let's get started. Ida tequeta, how many? Hek hime gabi, 1 fish. Ida teketa, how many? Ka kalina nagu, 2 hens. Ida teketa, how many? Kun koki nagu, 3 koki frogs. Ida teketa, how many? Kobiks korinagu, 4 guinea pigs. Ida teketa, how many? Kobre kobonagu, 5 seashells. On some islands, kobo was used to refer specifically to the conch seashell that you see on the screen. So now that you know the numbers, you've learned more animal terms, I think you're ready for a translation challenge. So let's take a look at the screen. Can you think of the translation for this famous Dr. Seuss book? I think you can do it. So let's do it together using what we've learned today and what we learned in our other lesson on colors. Hek himekabi, 1 fish. Ka himekabi nagu, 2 fish. Himekabi ita, red fish. Himekabi gutusu, blue fish. You see how simple that was? So I know that was a lot to throw at you all at once, but let's review one more time all of the new vocabulary terms that we learned today. Ida teketa, how many? Hekaku, number. Hekaku nagu, numbers. Heketi, hek, 1. Yamoka, ka, 2. Yamokun, kun, 3. Yamokobiks, kobiks, 4. Yamonkobre, cobre, 5. Himekabi, the singular form of fish. Himekabi nagu, the plural form of fish. Kalina, hen. Kalina nagu, hens. Kori, guinea pig. Kori nagu, guinea pigs. Kobo, seashell. Kobo nagu, seashells. Mabrika, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Taino. I'm your host, Priscilla Colon, co-founder creative here at Casarito, where our mission is to promote the Taino language and culture. So last week, we talked about the numbers and we learned the Taino numbers 1 through 5. This week, we're going to continue with numbers and learn the Taino numbers 6 through 10. I'm also going to give you a few tips on how you can memorize these numbers a little bit easier. Some things they may not have told you when you were growing up. So let's get started. So let's read the numbers Hikaku, Nagu, 6 through 10. As I mentioned last time, I'll be reading the long form first, the one you use when counting, and then I'll read the short form or adjective form, the one you use when describing things. 6. Yamon pirua, pirua. 7. Yamon akarat, akarat. 8. Yamon mekisa, mekisa. 9. Yamon meki, meki. 10. Polu, polu. Notice that for the number 10, polu, we only have one form. Now, let's describe some pictures with the numbers so we can say how many of the animals we see. We're also going to be learning some new animal words. Idate que ta, how many? Pirua pikua nagu, 6 barracudas. Idate keta, how many? Akarat ama nagu, 7 horses. Idate keta, how many? Mekisa mukaro nagu, 8 owls. Idate keta, how many? Meki manati nagu, 9 manatees. Idate keta, how many? Polu puluku nagu, 10 pigs. So I have a little tip for you. When learning anything new, whether that's a language, how to play the piano, it is important that you engage all of your senses. New MRIs have discovered that memory actually lies in many parts of your brain. And the more senses you engage, your sight, your hearing, etc., the more likely you are to remember something. So my tip is this. Do you remember when you were like in 3rd or 4th grade and your teachers told you not to count with your fingers? You should! You should actually count with your fingers because you are engaging the sense of touch, right? You are engaging your voice, say it out loud, and you are engaging your hearing. So let's count with our fingers, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to count from 1 to 10. And as I do it out loud, and as you see it on the screen, I want you to count with your fingers, whether it's using the palms of your hands like this, or touching them with your other fingers. It's going to make that memory stick. Now, because we are counting the numbers, we're not describing something, we're going to use the long form. So do it with me. Heketi, 1. Yamoka, 2. Yamokun, 3. Yamokobix, 4. Yamoncobre, 5. Yamonpirua, 6. Yamonakarat, 7. Yamonmekisa, 8. Yamonmeki, 9. Polu, 10. But during this lesson, you learned a lot more animal names, so let's review those. Pikua, barracuda. Pikua nagu, barracudas. Ama, horse. Ama nagu, horses. Manati, manatee. Manati nagu, manatees. Puluku, pig. Puluku nagu, pigs. Today, I have a huge announcement. Casareito is working in collaboration with the municipality of Canóvanas, Puerto Rico, to put together the first language conference focusing on the evolution of the Taino language. We're bringing together linguists, archaeologists, and other experts to share information so that we can learn more about the evolution of our language and to present to the world some of the new variants that were created since 2018. To stay in the know, follow @Taino Conference on all social media sites and check out the website www.tainoconference.org. In the meantime, Tay Karaya Guaitiao Nagu.